Hey guys, what's up? It's Shelly. In today's video, we're going to be going over the backwards inside 3 turn. So with this backwards inside 3 turn, we're going to be going over your arm position, your free leg position, how the mechanics of the turn work. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you stay tuned till the end so you get all the information. And also, when you're working on this back inside 3 turn, make sure you're watching where you're practicing this on the ice. So for example, if there's a lot of people jumping or spinning on the session that you're on while you're trying to do these, try not to be doing this 3 turn in the center circle where the spinners are, and don't go in the Lutz corner if there's a lot of people doing Lutzes. Find a circle where nobody is skating, do it there, and also, you could create your own little circle on the line or use a half circle on the line. Find your space on the ice so you can steer clear of other skaters. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump right in. All right, before we really get into the arms or the free leg and the turn mechanics, what we're going to start off with is discuss what edges we use when we do our 3 turn. With the back outside 3 turn and all the 3 turns that we learned in the videos before, we start out with an edge that is the title of this 3 turn. So for example, a back outside 3 turn, you start with a back outside edge. So when it comes down to the back inside 3 turn, we are going to start on a back inside edge. We turn and then we exit on a forward outside edge. So whenever we're doing these 3 turns, that entry edge is going to be the opposite edge on the exit. So we're starting on an inside edge and we're exiting on an outside edge. And also the direction changes. So if we're gonna go into a 3 turn backwards, we're exiting the 3 turn forwards. If we're entering the 3 turn forwards, we are exiting the 3 turn backwards. So that's very important to keep in mind and help you kind of with how to differentiate these different 3 turns. Another little tip for you as well is when you're doing your 3 turn, if we say a right back inside 3 turn, you are going to be skating on the right foot. That is the start of the 3 turn when you are on that back inside edge. So keep that in mind when you're doing these, and if somebody asks you or your coach, they're like, show me a left back inside 3 turn, you're obviously going to be going backwards on an inside edge, and of course you're going to be on your left foot. So let's go ahead, let's start talking about arm position when we're doing this. So the arms are very important when you're doing any 3 turn because the arms kind of help you check your body position. When we are on an edge, our body feels like it wants to rotate around. This arm check is going to help us stay in control of the edges that we're utilizing during these turns. So when we're doing a back inside 3 turn, once you pick your circle, we are going to then do some crossovers or pumps, whichever works best for you. When you do those pumps or crossovers on the circle to get some momentum and speed for this 3 turn, your arms are going to face inside the circle. Keep in mind, if you're brand new to these, don't go crazy fast. Go a little bit slower. But once you do your crossover or your pump, you're going to bring your feet together. And when you bring your feet together, you're going to take your arms and switch them to face the outside of the circle when you are getting ready for this turn. So once you switch your arms and they face outside the circle, when you do the turn and you're exiting your 3 turn, your arms are still going to face outside the circle. So your hips and your shoulders are going to be against each other when you are doing this 3 turn. So you're gonna feel the shoulders and the hips kind of go against each other or turn against each other when you do the back inside 3 turns. And a little tip for you too is when you're doing the arms, try not to raise the arms too high. When you raise them too high, that's actually going to affect your knee bend for the turn. So you want to actually think about pushing your palms down and keeping some tension in the arms while you're doing this 3 turn. That will really help you stay in place for the 3 turn and keep more control of your upper body and your body in general when you are controlling the arms and you have some tension in the arms. For the free leg, it's actually quite simple. All we're gonna do is have our free leg extended in front of us throughout the whole 3 turn. So how do we get into that position? When you get your momentum by doing your pump or crossover, the moment you go into the 2-foot glide and you start to move your arms, you could do a couple of different things. If you're absolutely brand new and you're having trouble with your balance, first switch your arms, then lift up your inside leg and extend it in front, point the toe. If you are more comfortable with this 3-turn, but you're just looking to maybe strengthen it up a bit, as you're switching your arms, you can lift up that inside leg. First switch your arms, go into your 2-foot glide, then lift that free leg up. So the leg that's on the inside of the circle, that's the leg you want to extend in front. And when you extend this leg in front, you want to make sure you're pointing the toe. Try to have both your skating and free knee together. So you want to kind of squeeze your thighs together when you are in position for this 3-turn, because if that free leg is pulling away from the skating leg, then it's going to cause some issues with the rotation of this turn. Also, you don't want to have the free leg or knee on top of the skating leg, because when that happens, then we kind of get twisted, and in a way it promotes pre-rotation. And when we pre-rotate our turns, it causes some issues with the control of the turn itself. So you want to make sure your knees are touching parallel together. So at this moment, my inside leg is extended out in front, my knees are touching, and my thighs are squeezing together. When I do my turn, I'm going to actually stay in that position. And the same thing when I exit, I'm going to stay in that position. The one thing to note too is when you point your toe, in all skating, the toe point's pretty similar. You're going to slightly turn your toe out. So my toe is not pointing straight up, but it's slightly turned to the outside. So I take basically from my knee down to my toe and I slightly turn it out so it has that nice finished line. Whereas if you're pointing the toe straight up in the air and you don't have that nice little turnout with the foot, it kind of breaks the line or the look of that free leg. So keep that in mind. So it's pretty simple when it comes to the free leg. It stays in front, it stays in position. Keep your free side with your skating side to have better control over your 3-turn. Right now, we're going to go over the knee bend. The knee bend is one of the most important things of this 3-turn. It's kind of the glue. So if you don't have the proper knee rise and fall with this 3-turn, it's going to be hard to, number one, control. Number two, turning correctly is going to be an issue. So you want to make sure that you have an understanding of the knee rise and fall, the knee bend, etc. That's just going to make a lot of things way more easier for you during this 3-turn. So once we have this lovely 3-turn, and we have the arms down, we have the free leg down, we know what edges we're on, we need to properly rise and fall. So when you're going, just like on any other 3-turn, when you are on your first edge, you are going to be sinking down into your knee. The reason why we sink down in our knees when we're holding those edges is basically all about control. The knee bend also can help us with making an edge deeper, pressuring an edge to make it come around a little bit quicker. You get more into that as you get more advanced into skating, but for now, that knee bend really helps you with controlling that edge, so that way you're not pre-rotating or spinning out of control while you're doing that 3-turn. When you're on that back inside edge, you're gonna be down in your knees, palms are down, arms are facing outside the circle, your free leg is extended forward. When you're getting ready to turn, you are gonna rise up from your knee and do that quick hip flip. We're gonna flip our hips 180 degrees. And when we do this turn, we are gonna turn facing outside of that circle. That's very important, because if you actually turn facing inside the circle, it turns into a different turn, and we will get to that in another video in the future. So you don't wanna look at the inside dot, you wanna look outside the circle when you're doing that turn. So you're gonna sink down in your knees during that edge. Rise up, do your hip flip, and then you're gonna exit on a bent knee as well. It's a sink down, you rise up for the turn, and you sink right back down. So as soon as you do that turn, you gotta check your body in position and sink right back down on that knee so you can control that exit. Let's talk about what part of the blade that we're actually turning on. Similar to the back outside 3-turn, back inside 3-turn's the same thing. We're turning on the heel of the blade. If you have to think about lifting up those toes a little bit during that quick hip flip, please do so. Very important, but it's very, very crucial that you do. lift up the toe. That's actually one of the biggest mistakes that we see when we are teaching a 3-turn, especially backward 3 turns. All the skaters are so used to doing the forward 3 turns. You're used to rocking up to the ball of the foot, but it's different with a backward 3 turn. So we have to kind of go against the comfort level and push ourselves to go more on the heel, which honestly, it's probably going to be a little bit scary for you when you first try it because you're kind of thinking I'm gonna fall backwards. Trust me, you will not. As long as you do a minimal movement with your foot, you will be fine. And that's another thing I want to touch base on. When you think about turning on the heel, you're not rocking right up to that heel to where you're gonna stop your glide. You wanna still stay on the blade. You want to be able to control that turn, so you're only gonna lift up the toes just a little bit. You're just rocking nice and gently on your blade in order to create this turn. So that is the mechanics of the knee bend with the turn. That was back inside 3 turn. So now we have a video on every 3 turn. We have forward outside, forward inside, back outside, and back inside. And I do think I'm going to put out a video pretty soon of a step sequence that utilizes all of the 3 turns that we just learned in our videos the past week. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's actually one of my favorite step sequences. So I do want you guys to give it a try. It might be a little bit confusing at first, but once you break it down and do it piece by piece, it'll be pretty simple. Also, one more thing just to mention is that if you are looking for some extra help, whatnot, feel free to contact me. I am doing consulting for figure skating. So if you are interested in having a quick consulting session on an element that you're struggling with, feel free to contact me. My email address is down below. Until next time, skate great, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.